Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. My hair looks grayer this morning. Interesting. Welcome to old age. Surprise! Anyway, I hope you're having a good morning. I hope you're having a good week. Man, Thursday, this week's almost gone. I'm sure you've got lots of stuff this weekend. Boy, I don't even know. I don't think I have anything this weekend. At this point, I'm not planning on doing anything. I don't know. I got some plans in the works and we'll see if they turn out. Checking with the weather because it's Oklahoma and you just never know, right? Anyway, but I hope you're having a great day and a great week and a great April. Nice spring. We're almost ready for May. Let's go, right? Let's go. Let's get some outside time going. Anyway, so I stayed with David this morning. I don't even know what I talked about yesterday. But I guess while I was talking yesterday, I thought of two stories. And so I looked them up, and I'm going to talk about one of them this morning. I might talk about the other one tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. My point in both of these stories is that God will use anything. He has a plan. He's smarter than us, and he can figure things out. But it's up to us to do the waiting. What am I talking about? Well, in 1 Chronicles 14, and I believe it's in 2 Samuel 5 also. It's the story of David. It just became king. He finally got there, you guys. We've talked about him running from Saul. We've talked about him hiding in the cave. The things he wrote about hiding in the cave are in Psalm 31 is how I got the devotional, 31 days in Psalm 31. What's it like to spend 31 days in a cave with God, right? The place where David learned to trust, that place where he was running. He had a promise, but he couldn't see it yet, right? His promise was that the prophet Samuel had come and said he's going to be the king. But David hadn't seen it. He lived in hiding. He ran from Saul. He fought with Ziklag. We saw him there. All these different things, right, that he went through before he realized it. And finally, in 1 Chronicles 14, David became king. The king God had always seen, even though David didn't quite see it or feel it yet, but it had been promised. And it's that waiting period, right, that makes it hard on us. When we know God said something, and we really feel like God said something, and then we don't quite see it, or when we thought, or where we thought, or how we thought, it's that in-between time that really builds that trust in God. I'm going to trust you, God, no matter what I see. I'm going to trust you, God, no matter what I feel. So he's become king, finally. Woo! All right. Right? And he goes back to, where did it say he went? Wherever he went. Anyway, he's king now. And when the Philistines heard it, it says that he had been anointed king over all Israel. So he'd ruled over Judah some, but now he's king over all Israel because Judah and Israel were divided for a time, right? And now he's king over all Israel, and the Philistines came to search for him. They want to take him out, right? So David prays, and he says, what should I do, God? Should I go up against him? And God says, go take him. Go take him. I'm going to give him to you. So he goes to this battle. He wins the battle. They run away, and so then they are gathered again. They come around another way, and they come against him again. And he goes to God again, and he goes, God, should I go take him? And he goes, wait. Don't go yet. And he said, go around on the other side. He said, go up. The first time he said, go up. Then it said that once again they raided them. He said, do not go after them. Circle around them. So surround them. And come on them in the front of the mulberry trees. And when you hear a sound of marching in the top of the mulberry trees, then go out to battle, because God has gone out before you to strike the camp of the Philistines. So David did as he was commanded, as God commanded him, and he drove back the army of the Philistines. And I guess what I got from that was like, I want to know what the marching sounded like. Did it sound like just a regular army marching? Did it sound really like marching? Did it just kind of sound like marching? But God said, when you hear me marching in the tops of the trees, know I went before you, and now it's time to go. And David waited. What wisdom he's showing here. Now, he's had years of experience. He could have just grabbed his sword and gone out to battle. He's a confident warrior. He doesn't have to killed a bear and a lion with his bare hands before he ever even had anything but a slingshot. He ran to Goliath. He didn't stop when he saw Goliath. He didn't say, God, should I go take Goliath out? He went, how are y'all going to let this dude talk to us like that? Come on, let's go. Why are you just letting him talk to God's people like that? I'm going to take you out, man. And he ran to the battle. He took Goliath out. He didn't pray first. He just was had this righteous indignation, and he said, that can't stand here. But here we see a very wiser, older David, and he's got years of experience of running, hiding, and trusting God. So he asked God, do I go to battle? Absolutely, go to battle. Okay, went to battle. You know, we did that in the Ziklag. Remember we read that? Was that last week or this week that we read that? Where I guess it was last week, everything was wiped out, and he said, should I go take them? And God said, wait. And then later God says, go get your stuff. And so he learned to listen and wait for God. What a powerful confidence builder, because then he realizes this battle is not mine, it's God's. Now, I had this other thought this morning, because I'm like, this is amazing that he just waited. He said, God, should I go? God says, go. He goes, okay. And then the next time he says, God, do I go? And God goes, wait a minute, wait till I go, and then I'll tell you when to go. Okay, David waited. Had he done that before when he saw Bathsheba? That story might have been different. That story would have read a lot different had he said, oh, there's Bathsheba, can I go get her? And God would have said, no, you can't go get her, that's somebody else's wife, you fool. Right? Well, he might not have said it exactly like that, but he would have said something like that. David would have known. But David didn't pray before that, right? But he prayed here, because by that time he'd been king, and he knew he could go get anything in the kingdom that he wanted. Right? But here he's still relying on God. He's taking that moment. And I'm saying there's a powerful thing in that moment. If you're in a waiting period, it's a powerful moment of trusting God. It's a strengthening moment. It's hard as all get out because we're waiting on the sound of God to move before we move. We're waiting to hear him go get it before we go get it. Now, that moment it's a hard time, but it's also a very precious time. And so we find that in those times when we wait on God, we get our answer completely, and we wait on him. We have strength for the battle, and we're going to win when we wait on him. He moves first, then we move in response. We don't jump out there and then go, come on, are you coming, God? Because you coming? Because I'm ready. Right now we wait on God, and that's where our strength is. Our strength is in the wait. We read that in Isaiah 30, 15 and 18, that our strength is in quietness and stillness. That's where David's strength was. It had to have been a long night or two, right? Because it didn't just happen in 5 minutes. We read it in 5 minutes, but it didn't happen in 5 minutes. And that waiting part is part that builds character. It builds that strength and that resolve inside. The waiting on God is what actually grows us up. It's like lifting actual weights with your body and working out, and lifting and seeing how much you can lift, right? Because waiting is hard work, but it's profitable, because when he heard the marching in the trees, as God had described, they drove back the enemy, it says, from Gibeon as far as Gezer. Anybody got any ideas what that is? I don't have any idea, but it was a long ways, right? And then their fame went out into all the lands, and the Lord knew, the people knew that the Lord was with David, the new king of all of Israel. And that's how God knows, that's how people know God is with us, when they see us wait in hard situations and still run back to God in that faith. And they go, wow, there must be some substance there. There must be something worth listening to, something worth watching there. Because that wait is where we start. You ever seen a bodybuilder? You go, they put the work in. When we do the waiting, W-A-I-T, on God, when we wait on God, it's like spiritual bodybuilding. It's building up those muscles, man. Then you got some muscle to work with, right? Until we wait on God, we don't look like a bodybuilder. We're a little scrawny dude. Like, I'm not always scrawny anymore, right? So I encourage you today to wait. If God's promised you something, wait on him. If he hasn't promised you anything, wait on the promise. So we're either going to wait on the promise, or we're going to wait on him to fulfill it, or we're going to wait to hear from him, because that is the most powerful, pivotal moment in our lives. So have faith, trust God, wait on him. He's going to go before you in the battle, and there's no way you're going to lose. That's why we can peace out. Peace out. Have a great day. See you again tomorrow.